Welcome to The Good Woman Awakens. This is a space for women who were taught to be good, but were never taught to be whole. Here, we do not perform empowerment, we examine it. We look at patterns, we look at conditioning, we look at the roles we were trained to play, and the identities we are ready to release. This is not about blaming men, it is not about bitterness, and it is not about noise. It is about awareness, emotional sovereignty, and the quiet courage to see clearly. If something feels uncomfortable here, well, stay with it. Awakening is rarely loud, but it is always honest. Let's begin. Submission without discernment doesn't produce peace, it produces erosion. In this episode, we explain the psychology behind good woman conditioning, Jung's persona/shadow split, Bowen family systems roles, and self-silencing research describing the cost of suppressing needs and anger to preserve relationships. You'll learn how to practice discernment as pattern recognition, safe, reciprocal, accountable, respectful, and how Stoic tools help you pause, test impressions, and choose boundaries without rebellion or hatred. Calm truth for women rebuilding self-respect in midlife. Educational only, not therapy. If you are in danger or experiencing abuse, seek local professional help urgently. Submission has been taught as virtue, but many women were not taught discernment. And submission without discernment doesn't create peace, it creates erosion. Let's define it calmly. Submission, in practice, often means yielding your inner authority, yielding your voice, yielding your instincts, yielding your standards. Not once, habitually. And when you yield habitually, yourself becomes blurred. Not because you are weak, but because you are practicing self-erasure as loyalty. Now Jung gives language here. If your persona is the good woman, your shadow holds the disowned parts, anger, standards, refusal, needs, desire. So you look calm, but you are split inside. You smile on the outside, while something inside you quietly tightens. You nod, while your instincts whisper that something is wrong. And the more you ignore those whispers, the quieter your inner voice becomes. Bowen gives language too. In many families, one person becomes the peacekeeper, the one who manages anxiety, the one who absorbs tension, the one who smooths conflict. So you learn to keep connection by yielding. That becomes your template. You believe harmony is your responsibility. You believe discomfort means you have done something wrong. You believe loyalty means endurance. Now here is the danger. Discernment is the skill of reading patterns without emotional distortion. Discernment asks, is this safe? Is this reciprocal? Is this accountable? Is this respectful? Submission without discernment asks, how do I keep harmony, even if it costs me? So you start doing this. You apologize for needs. You shrink your standards. You swallow anger. You accept crumbs. You call it patience. But patience and self-abandonment are not the same thing. Patience waits for growth. Self-abandonment tolerates harm. Research on self-silencing explains the cost. When women suppress their own expression to maintain relationships, it correlates with depression, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. Because the nervous system was never designed to live in chronic suppression. You can silence yourself for a moment, but you cannot silence yourself for years without paying for it internally. Now, the sovereign shift is not rebellion, it is clarity. It is not becoming harsh, it is becoming honest. You can be gentle and still require respect. You can be loyal and still require repair. You can be patient and still require change. You can be kind and still say no. Stoicism helps here. Justice includes justice to yourself. Courage includes the courage to disappoint people. Temperance includes restraint from overgiving. Wisdom includes seeing what is, not what you hope it is, not what you wish it would become, what it is. So discernment becomes your protection, not suspicion, pattern recognition. You begin to watch behavior over time. You notice whether apologies become change. You notice whether respect appears only when convenient. You notice whether effort flows in both directions. Discernment does not rush. Discernment observes, and observation slowly dissolves illusion. A sovereign woman understands something very important. Submission is not about shrinking. Submission is about alignment with what is worthy. You cannot submit to chaos. You cannot submit to irresponsibility. You cannot submit to disrespect, because that is not virtue. That is disappearance. True alignment only exists where integrity exists, where accountability exists, where mutual care exists. And when those things are absent, discernment quietly moves you, not dramatically, not angrily, simply away from what erases you. Because the goal of a conscious woman is not simply harmony, it is integrity. And integrity means your voice, your instincts, and your dignity remain intact. Notice what resonated, and notice what resisted. Both are information. Sometimes what unsettles you is not attack, it is recognition. You cannot change your past. You cannot rewrite the years you overgave. You cannot undo the times you stayed longer than you should have. But you can change what you tolerate now. You can change what you explain away. You can change what you excuse. You can change the standards you quietly lower to keep peace. Awareness does not make you cold. It makes you clear. And when a good woman becomes clear, she stops negotiating with patterns that cost her dignity. She stops mistaking endurance for love. She stops calling emotional labor devotion. She stops trying to be the reason someone else matures. She turns inward. She stabilizes herself. And from that place, her choices change naturally, not dramatically, not angrily, quietly. Until next time, stay conscious, stay steady, and stay awake.